Today I would like to show you a game from this beautiful book that I really love, but I would like also to talk about chess sets. Why? Because this chess set that I have here is from this American company from the 1900, and it looks very similar to the one used in Cambridge Springs 1904, but it is not the same. Here we have a picture from Frank Camarata that has this unique ancient collections, and we can see the differences with the knight, that is quite different from that one, and also the difference, for example, with the king, with the finger of the king. They are quite different. Now, that doesn't mean that they are not beautiful, and by the way, I do have a reproduction of the chess set used in that tournament, the Cambridge Spring 1904. But it's interesting the fact that at historical level we are able to appreciate a tournament that happened 120 years ago, not only through the games, but also through the chess sets. Also, if this is not the one that they use in that tournament, but it's very similar, and I have the one that they use in that tournament, okay? So, and I use it to show another game from the book, but today I would like to show you this game, Checkmate versus Hodges, and the thing that I like of the book is that there are also some little biographies about the players that played in this tournament. And here I wanted to show you, for example, here you have a page and a half about Hodges, that the black player in this game, and of course you have also a page about Checkmate that now I cannot find, because like always when you look for something you can never find it. Let me see, because that's interesting. And this is great because practically it gives you a little about the history, right? Okay, Checkmate. I knew it because he was the one that looks like a pirate, you know, with just one eye. As you can see, the book is also historical research. It's great in this sense because how would you know players from 120 years ago? You wouldn't, right? The introduction to the game says Hodges equalizes with a well-played Petrov defense, the Russian, but later goes wrong in his eagerness to win White's isolated d-pawn. Checkmate's final attack is most attractive. Okay, so Checkmate is white. e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight takes c5, d6, knight f3, knight takes e4, d4, d5, bishop d3, and bishop e7, castle, knight c6, and h3. Here it says that there was a previous game, Lasker against Pillsbury in St. Petersburg, 1895-1896, in which rook e1 was played. And of course, it gives a little part of the game. But in this game, h3 was played. Now, is h3 a good move compared to rook e1? It's up to you, guys. I think sometimes if you don't like to have a knight f3 pin or some other reasons. Let's see how the game go, because I never saw it honestly, so that's the truth. Castle, and rook e1. Okay, so as you can see, it could be also transposition, because at a certain point you play rook e1. f5. Now the good thing of this is followed by c4. Now the good thing of this book is that the author did find notes from other publications. For example, here he mentioned author in the field consider this risky and suggested c3 or knight bd2. Okay. But white must accept the isolated d pawn if he is to complicate the position and avoid a humdrum draw. Yeah, in some cases the isolated pawn is kind of important, and we have seen with other books like the one on pawn structure that the isolated pawn, if one knows what to do, can be an easy win, because if you are able to push the pawn, it becomes unstoppable. Let's see what happened here. Black continue with bishop e6, c takes d5, bishop takes d5, knight c3, bishop b4, and queen c2. Here it says defending and threatening, knight takes d5. That's interesting. So guys, try to pause the video for a second and try to see what really means here, because here it says knight takes d5, but you see that there is bishop takes e1, right? And then follow, oh yeah, now I can see it. Okay, let me show you, because this is very interesting. Knight takes d5, bishop takes e1, knight takes e1. Let's say that you play this move. What do you think it happens next? And it can only happen for a reason, because the f pawn has been moved. Once this pawn is moved, this diagonal becomes really bad for black, because the next move is obviously this. So that's why he's threatening knight takes d5. Okay, clearly a very interesting take on this position that maybe we wouldn't have thought if we didn't read the book, and the book obviously made us think about it. Okay, I hope that I put the pieces back in place like it should be, because every time I mistake something it's terrible. Okay, after queen c2, obviously black immediately took action and played knight takes c3, b takes c3, and now there is bishop takes f3, c takes b4, and black immediately goes back. Black has defended well, leaving white with a weak d pawn. But notice now you could have not played knight takes d4 because there was queen c4, then the bishop d2. It would have been a kind of mess. Here, however, you can read the comment once you buy the book, or don't buy it, just enjoy this video. Okay, so how does white continue here? Because obviously he has a kind of double problem. He continues with queen c3. And now odds start to become a little too much greedy. Why? Because he plays queen h4. Here it says odds begin to lose the thread. Simple and good is, he should have played instead queen f6. Okay, and here it gives you a little line and the maneuver of the knight in order to have a good play. But queen h4 seems it's not good. So what does white play? Okay, you need to understand what white is playing here. White plays b5, and Hodges make a mistake playing queen takes d4. Here it says the turning point of the game, black captures the d pawn with the wrong piece. Correct could have been instead knight takes d4. And after queen takes c7, rook a d8, bishop f1, and knight e6 with a reasonable play. Instead he played queen takes d4. After which there is bishop b2, which forces a favorable simplification for white. Why? Let's see. Queen takes e3, bishop takes e3, knight d8, and now there is bishop b4. As you can see, okay, maybe you cannot see because you don't have a book in front of you, but in the game there are a lot of diagrams, so it's kind of easy to follow the game. Okay, you can try to follow the game just watching the diagrams. So after bishop b4, which attacks this, rook f6 was played. Maybe g6 was the move to play and try to hold to the position. Rook f6 not really working. Now try to understand what's going on here, because I continue to tell you the same things. As you can see, also good players like this Hodges have a lapse and don't understand the position. This is out of the game, right? We are at move 20, which means you are playing with a rook less, and this is the lesson of Morphy's games. Many of his opponents just go cherry picking their pawns, the pawns that Morphy gave them, and then they have all the pieces in the back rank that are doing nothing, and obviously they are going to pay for that. Okay, rook e8 check, right? That was kind of simple, because he wants to double the rooks on the e file, because he can enter and control the e file. As you can see, notice here, this square is control, this square is control. This is very bad. Generally it doesn't make any sense to have a rook on a file that you cannot actually penetrate in it, but this you can, and once it does this, boom, and this starts to become a big problem, right? Because this cannot be moved, this is behind doing nothing. It's terrible, right? So after rook a1 he played c5, trying to get free, right? Trying to get free, but not really working. And notice that he doesn't take with the pawn, because otherwise that wouldn't be good, but he takes with the bishop. So he continues to keep the control of this. Now, as you surely have thought, the next move is this, right? Why? Because he wants to free the knight. But as you can also see, it's a little too late. Let's see why. Rook 1 e7, king g6, and now this is the power of a bishop pair that I have unfortunately felt when playing against an engine, because engines love to have a bishop pair. Guess what is the next move by white? The next move is this, bishop d4, because this is gonna fall, right? But he plays bishop f7, because otherwise it's really a problem. And here you have obviously different ways to win. Takeman played g4, beautiful move. After bishop takes e8, g takes f5, king h6, rook takes e8. But there was also bishop e3, and there is a way to give checkmate, okay? So let's see what happened, because I'm kind of curious. Rook d6, bishop e3, check, king h5, and bishop e2, with inevitable mate after what? So you cannot go here because these are all control, right? You cannot go here, so you can go only here, right? And then here it says with inevitable mate after 31 rook e4, but no, that's not the case at the moment. He will have checkmate, but not right away, because he can still play this, and then the mate comes here with this move. Okay, that's the checkmate. Very good, beautiful game, and as you can see, things can go wrong very, very easily, especially if one becomes greedy and if the other side has a bishop pair with open diagonals and control of a file. So I believe this game taught us a lot, and I hope you will enjoy also other games from this book. Maybe eventually buy also the a repro of the Cambridge Springs 1904 chess set, and you will think that you are in that time. Thank you very much for watching.